up, movie crew? So today I am going to do the first ever episode of Let's Rank. As you know, this week is Mortal Kombat week. So that means today I will be ranking the Mortal Kombat movies. And yes, for the record, there are more than 3. As a matter of fact, I am ranking 6. Now, I do want to do a little disclaimer. This is no official ranking. This is just my personal ranking. I'm going to tell you what my least favorite Mortal Kombat movie is and why. And we're going to end it with my favorite Mortal Kombat movie and why. So, sit back, relax, and let's rank Mortal Kombat. In last place is Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. Now, if you've been a part of this channel for a while, then you already know this. But if you're new to the channel, I have another series on here called Let's Watch What? And in this series, I make my friends watch crap movies. And one of those is Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. In fact, I even had a short where I told my friends, hey, who's ready to watch the worst Mortal Kombat movie ever made? To which JP responded, we're watching Annihilation? To which I told him, you wish. After we watched it, I proved him right. That was the worst movie. And at only 40 minutes, yeah, it was rough. To anyone that actually feels the need to torture themselves, The Journey Begins is available as a bonus feature on the first Mortal Kombat Blu-ray disc. I don't know if it's available on any streaming services or not, but here's why it's bad. The people working on it clearly have no idea about Mortal Kombat. Because instead of being called the Lin Kuei, they're called the Lin Q. In the credits, Raiden's name is misspelled. This movie also changes animation 3 different times. It has traditional animation, then does traditional animation with 3D background, and then it goes into something that looks like PS1 graphics. I don't think this movie knew what it wanted to be, and the people who made it clearly knew nothing about Mortal Kombat. That is why The Journey Begins is ranked at the bottom of this list and is hands down the worst Mortal Kombat movie ever made. I will have a link in the description below for my episode of Let's Watch What, where I made my friends JP and Elliot watch Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. At number 5, we have the movie everyone was expecting to be at the bottom of this list, which is Mortal Kombat: Annihilation. Now, this movie sucks. Let's just be honest. But given the atrocity that is The Journey Begins, there is a reason this one is one step higher. Now, is this movie good? No, not one bit. Not only do you have a horrible plot, horrible CG effects, most of the cast from the first movie were recast for the second movie, and it's very obvious. It was just horribly done, and I don't know what they were doing with this. There was nothing good about this movie. It was like, hey, we're getting Shao Kahn, and they did not cast the best actor for Shao Kahn. I don't even know what they were thinking when they were making this one. I don't know if it was, hey, we've got people under contract, so we need to hurry up and make this sequel, or, hey, the first movie made money, so we've got to make the sequel. Either way, Annihilation is a not so great movie. Yeah, if you want a good laugh with some friends from time to time, yes, it is something you can put in and watch. But unless you're watching it to make fun of it or just watching for a laugh at someone else's expense, Annihilation's really not worth watching. That's just my opinion. But that is my number 5. Number 4, and I already know that some of the hardcore gamers, some of the hardcore fans, and a lot of people that are my age are going to hate that I am putting this one at number 4. But at number 4, we are going with the original Mortal Kombat movie. And yes, I am aware there's a lot of people mad about this. And I took a lot of thought into it. I rewatched all of these movies. That was not an easy task. Now, unlike Annihilation, the first movie does have a solid plot. I will give them that. They've got some decent actors playing some of the characters. I will give them that. Most of these characters are very much the essence of who they are in the video games. I will give them that. Not to mention, this was one of the earlier films from Paul W.S. Anderson, who went on to do the Resident Evil franchise. And love them or hate them, those movies have done pretty well. So, gotta give the man respect. But why am I putting the original movie at number 4 out of 6 movies? And it's very simple. For starters, this movie's dated. Like, yeah, some of the special effects were good at the time, but technology has improved a lot since 1994. All right? Let's just be honest here. Second, yes, some of these actors and actresses do a decent job portraying these characters. That I will say. However, there's also some really bad acting among some of these characters as well. We just got to be honest here. And also, have some of you played Mortal Kombat before? These games are violent. They're bloody. They're gruesome. So whoever had the idea of giving it a PG-13 rating, that was stupid. That hurt this movie more than anything. This is not something that you're supposed to tame down. You need to be able to have some blood. You need to be able to have some gore. These characters are known for performing things called fatalities. You can't do those in a PG-13 movie. And do I hate this movie? No. It's a part of my childhood. The video game franchise is a part of my childhood. This movie is a part of my childhood. But we've got to be real with ourselves too. And the truth is, this is not the best movie. This was not the best way to bring Mortal Kombat to the theaters. But that's just my personal opinion. And yes, I am aware that this is going to be the one that's going to trigger people. So go on ahead, comment down below, tell me how wrong I am for putting the original movie in the bottom half of this list. I'm expecting it. All right, we have made it to the top 3 of the Mortal Kombat franchise. And just like my number 4, causing some issues. I already know number 3 is probably going to as well, because I am putting this particular video out a few days after the release of this movie. At number 3, we are going to put the latest Mortal Kombat animated movie, Mortal Kombat Legends: Battle of the Realms. Battle of the Realms is a sequel to the 2020 animated feature Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge. Now, this movie definitely picks up where Scorpion's Revenge leaves off. It focuses on some different characters within the franchise. The events take place after Scorpion's Revenge, so it's not just some random side story with other characters. This movie is pretty solid, strong cast. Everyone that was a part of Scorpion's Revenge is back for Battle of the Realms, which is very much a first in the Mortal Kombat franchise. If you don't believe me, you're welcome to look it up. And this movie has a little bit of everything. There was a couple of parts where I was laughing at some of the dark humor. There's some parts where you get to see some fatalities performed. There's stuff from the video games you get to see in this movie. I don't want to go into detail because I know this is coming out just a few days after the release of this movie, but the third act felt a little off to me. And I don't really know how to go into detail without going into spoiler territory. So if you want to know, I would recommend watching Battle of the Realms. Some of you might disagree with me, I'm not sure. But overall, the reasons that I am putting this above the original movie is that it does have a better plot. It does pick up where the previous movie leaves off. It's got the same cast, something that we have never seen in a Mortal Kombat in anything. There's only 1 or 2 returning people in Annihilation. Mortal Kombat Legacy, the web series, saw a lot of recasts for Season 2. Some of them, had there been a Season 3, said they weren't going to be a part of Season 3. So this is something that's actually new to this franchise, is a returning cast. I've got to give points for that. And this is a little bit more loyal to the video games, where the original movie, there's some stuff that's a little off. But number 3, Mortal Kombat Legends: Battle of the Realms. Alright, so I am giving the silver medal of the Mortal Kombat franchise to the newest live action movie, Mortal Kombat. And I already know the people that grew up with the original are going to be upset that I'm putting this above the original. There's even people that like this movie that are probably going to be upset that I put this in the runner-up spot. Again, my personal ranking. Other than the addition of Cole, this movie has a lot of really good stuff. As I mentioned when I reviewed this movie, when I first started this channel, Kano was spot on from the video games. There's a couple of changes they made here and there, but nothing drastic. Like, in the video games, Kung Lao is an ancestor to Liu Kang. In this, they're cousins. Alright, well, you're going to feature both characters. You got to find a reason to put both characters in here. So, it managed to feature a lot of characters without feeling like anyone was stepping on anyone's toes. Everyone got a fair amount of screen time. We got to see fatalities. We got to hear the start of the Mortal Kombat tournament. We got to see various alliances getting formed. I honestly think this movie did more justice to the video games than the previous live action movies. And hopefully we're getting a sequel, because I really would like to see where some of these characters will be at going forward. They teased some of the other characters that were not in this movie for a sequel. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of these characters. I want to see them on my screen again. It was a fun movie to watch. They definitely paid more homage to the video games than I feel like we've seen with some of the other movies. So for me personally, the runner-up spot goes to the 2021 live-action movie. Alright, so you're probably wondering what is my number one movie in the Mortal Kombat franchise. And again, I went into this knowing that my opinions were going to be drastically different from a lot of people like myself that grew up playing the video games. Most people would probably put the live action movie at number one, the original. I am not one of those people. My number one is Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. Keep in mind, prior to this movie, this came out before the live action movie, the reboot. Prior to this, we got 2 live action movies, one of which is considered one of the worst movies ever made. A TV series in the late 90s that resembled nothing like Mortal Kombat. A web series that isn't bad, but at the time, that was the closest thing we were getting to something being loyal to the source material. Scorpion's Revenge gives us pretty much everything they possibly can in an 80-minute time frame. That's an hour and 20 minutes. And they managed to give us a solid origin story for Scorpion. The reason why he feuds with Sub-Zero. His entry into the Mortal Kombat tournament. His interaction with the people that are affiliated with Raiden. A villain in Shang Tsung and Quan Chi. Sorry for anyone that's a fan of video games, we do not get the Deadly Alliance, but we still got a lot of good stuff. We got fatalities. We got the X-rays. We got to see some of the most crazy moves that we don't normally see and probably won't be able to see in a live action movie. Scorpion's Revenge, hands down, is a love letter to the video games. So if you played the video games growing up, if you're still playing the video games, you're doing yourself an injustice. No pun intended, given that creators also make the game Injustice. If you have not watched Scorpion's Revenge. Is it a perfect movie? No, by no means is it a perfect movie. But you were getting one of the best pieces of the Mortal Kombat franchise in this animated movie. And one of the biggest issues I had that I mentioned earlier with the live action original movie was that they gave it a PG-13 rating. Warner Brothers took the risk with this movie and gave us an R-rated animated movie. And I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. I hands down say, without a doubt in my mind, Scorpion's Revenge is the best movie based off of the Mortal Kombat franchise. But that's going to do it for my personal rankings. Out of these 6 movies, what's your favorite? What's your least favorite? Do you want to see me rank more movie franchises? Do you want to see me rank movies featuring certain actors? Comment down below if you want that. And as always, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy this video, leave a thumbs up. But that's going to do it for the first ever episode of Let's Rank. Thank you all for watching and tune in next time.